Shalom, fam. Welcome back to Each One Reach One. I appreciate your time as always, everybody. Thanks for stopping by the channel. All right. Hope you guys are being edified, man, by the stuff I'm kicking out. It's all through the spirit, through the power, through the love, the majesty, and all to the glory of our power, the Most High YAHAWAH, BaHaShem, HaMashiach, YAHAWAHSHI, YAHAWAH. That's what it's all about. It's what we do here. Nothing here is about a man trying to exalt himself. Nothing here is about a man trying to be praised and worshiped by other people. You know, if you are of Israel, you are my brothers and my sister, and man, and I look at you as such. I don't look at me as being somebody that is above any one of you. And if you know me, you know that to be a fact. That's not just lip service, but I actually have a love for my people, man, a love for the children of the Most High, a love for the body of Hamashiach. Y'all dig what I'm saying? So again, I'm very humbled to be able to serve my power in this capacity, to be able to serve my nation in this capacity. All right. So again, thank you very much for stopping by. Your time is valued and appreciated. Why are we here today, fam? Well, you see the title, right? Discipleship is costly. This is important for us to get across and to understand as Israelites, right? Especially those of us who consider ourselves and believe ourselves to be men of the Lord, to be of the elect, which I do believe myself to be of. I don't hope to be, I believe that I am 100% without a doubt in my mind, okay? And as such, I know there's a certain way I'm supposed to walk. I know there are certain expectations. There are certain commandments that I'm given, you know, a certain standard that I'm supposed to uphold because I am of the body of Hamashiach, right? You know, the Lamb's bride, right? You understand that, you know, if you've been married before or if you've been in a relationship, a serious one, that, you know, you represent each other, right? You represent each other. As a woman, when a woman goes out into the world, she's a representative of you, her man, right? And you want your wife, you want your woman to go out into the world and you want her to be a proper representative of you. She's to be an extension of you, right? We are the glory of YAHAWAHSHI as his bride, right? So you can't just be out here in the world living any kind of way, walking any kind of way. You have to be according to the way he told you, the way he taught you to walk, because he tried to show you how to represent him. And by extension, how to represent our Father. Okay, now, y'all seen the lesson that I dropped yesterday. That was an important study, a topic to bring up. Again, it wasn't a lesson. I wasn't teaching anybody anything. I was trying to have a discussion with my community. All right, I'm open to being shown anywhere I may be in error, something I may be missing, you know, a different point of view. I'm open to it, man. I have no disillusions, man, of grandeur. I don't believe that I got all the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You know what I mean? I completely understand and believe that I could just be off, man. There could be something that I'm just missing, right? And so I'm willing to be shown. All right. But again, piggybacking off of yesterday's study, though, is I've been given, you know, I've just been moved, man, to talk about the fact that discipleship is costly. We can't expect and think that, you know, this is just a glorified position, right? And we're supposed to be these exalted figures above the rest of our nation, you know, because we're special. Right? We're special. Of course, we're special to the Most High and we're special to YAHAWAHSHI. But what comes with that? What does that mean exactly, though? What's required of us as being ministers and servants of our Lord? What's required of us as being the Lamb's bride? What's expected of us as being the government, the elect, the judges and the rulers, right? Discipleship is costly. Can you pay the cost? Are you willing to pay the cost? Have you counted the cost? Are you happy with the cost? Do you still want to be of the elect? enough of that. Let's get into the scripture. Let's get Matthew chapter 16, verse 24. Then said YAHAWAHSHI unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself. If any man will follow me, that's what his disciples do, right? The disciples of YAHAWAHSHI, we come after him. We follow him. What does he tell us to do? Let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. What does it mean to take up your cross? Whatever your lot is in this life, whatever load you've been given, whatever cards you have been dealt, deal with it, pick it up and follow after him, right? Because we all have been given a cross to bear of some sort, especially as being his disciples. We are like our master. No servant is greater than his master, as he said, right? So we're supposed to go through things the way he went through things. We're supposed to have some load to bear, some load to carry. And we're supposed to do so the way he did it, without complaining, without crying and whining about it. Right? Joyfully, understanding that there's a greater purpose for what we're doing, for the load that we have to carry, for the burden we have to bear. Right? Okay. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Right? So I want to get this in another place just to see it worded a little differently, right? So let's get Mark chapter 8, verse 34. Sometimes people need to see things worded a little differently for their brains to make a connection with what's being said, okay? Mark 8 and 34. And when he had called the people unto him with his disciples also, he said unto them, whosoever will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Let him deny himself. This walk, being a disciple, comes with sacrifice, fam. It comes with sacrifice. It's not just all fun and games. It's not just all benefit and glory and no sacrifice or struggle. No, there's struggle and there's sacrifice that comes with being a disciple of YAHAWAHSHI. Let him deny himself and take up his cross, meaning you're supposed to become a servant. You're not supposed to be living for yourselves anymore. You're not supposed to have a selfish mentality. You're supposed to have a selfless mentality. You're supposed to be renewed, become a new creature, and change. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. But whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. Whosoever shall lose his life, meaning abandon your old ways, abandon all your stuff, all your life, everything that you formerly clung to, right? Be willing to lose it, give it up, make it a secondary aspect of your life, a peripheral aspect of your life. Be willing to lose it all, to give it all up, to deem it all to be of no value for YAHAWAHSHI's sake and for the gospel's. That's what you got to be willing to do. Sacrifice. YAHAWAHSHI sacrificed himself. He didn't come partying it up, living, trying to have a bunch of women. He didn't have any. He sacrificed his life. He sacrificed everything that he could have had, everything that he could have done for our sakes. And he was our example. He walked it like he talked it so that he can show us what to aspire to. He gave us the blueprint. We're supposed to follow in those steps that he laid out before us. You can't call yourself a disciple of YAHAWAHSHI and you're veering out of the way that he led us in. He left his footprints in the sand for us to have a guide. All you got to do is step into those footprints. Let him lead you to where he's taking you. Deny yourself. Sacrifice. Discipleship is costly, fam. Let's get Matthew chapter 23, verse 1. Then spake YAHAWAHSHI to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore, whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. But do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. This is what we know about the modern day Pharisees as well, right? They say and do not. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. See, they're not going to do the things that they tell you to do. They try to put things on you that they themselves would never do, right? Don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that. No, you can't leave your wife. Yes, I left mine. No, you can't leave your family. Yes, I left mine. I'll say in my video 1,000 times, my wife is a gorilla. My wife ain't shit. My son ain't shit. He's this and that and the other. You know what I'm saying? But you don't do as I say. I'm sorry. Don't do as I do. Don't do as I've done. Do as I say. And I'm going to have to agree to a certain extent. If they are telling you right things, if they're telling you right things to do, but they just aren't doing them themselves, do the right things, ignore their actions, but also have the spirit of discernment to be able to tell whether or not the things they're telling you to do are the right things. That's another matter unto itself. But continuing on, verse 5, but all their works they do for it to be seen of men. Yes, they do. It's all to be exalted by men, to be lifted up, to be honored, right? To be worshiped. They have a man worshiping complex. They need it like a drug. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments, and love the uppermost rooms at feasts and the chief seats in the synagogues, and greetings in the markets, and to be called of men rabbi, rabbi, or prophet, prophet, or apostle, or disciple this, chief this, captain that, lieutenant so-and-so, sergeant such and such, right? King so-and-so, prince who the fuck ever. This is what they do. But be not ye called rabbi, for one is your master, even Hamashiach, and all ye are brethren. Why does he make it a point to say all ye are brethren? Because he's making it a point to say that we're supposed to be equal to one another. We're not supposed to be lording over one another and lifting anybody up above us to be our masters. Make no man a master over you. No man a ruler over you. We're not supposed to do that. These are YAHAWAHSHI's words. These are the things his disciples are supposed to follow. That's who he's talking to. And call no man your father upon earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Hamashiach. But he that is greatest among you, listen, you shall, but he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. Do I need to get it again? Yeah, get it again, each one. And he that is greatest among you shall be your servant, not your Lord, not your master teacher, not your king, not your prince, not your holy apostle, not your boss, not your supervisor, not any position of exaltation above you. None of that should be the case. And he drives it home in verse 12. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased. That's what's going to happen to those who exalt themselves. His promise is that you will be abased, meaning brought low to the bottom. To the bottom. So be careful. If you're out there exalting yourselves above men, you're trying to lord over your brethren, YAHAWAHSHI's promise to you is that you shall be abased. And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. Red letter, fam. Red letter. You're out here chasing glory and fame and honor and worship from men. You're not supposed to be exalted. You're supposed to be humble. You're supposed to humble yourselves, right? Those of you who think yourselves to be greatest among the people, you're supposed to be the servants of the people. We're meant to serve, man. The greatest among us are the elect. The elect are meant to be servants to the people. YAHAWAHSHI was servant to us. We're his extension, his body, meaning we're supposed to be as him, meaning what? Servants. We're made greater to be servants. But your egos can't handle that, many of you. Discipleship is costly, fam. It's going to cost you all of that man worship that you love so much. It's going to cost you. Get Matthew chapter 19. Matthew 19 and 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? So Peter want to know, like, man, me and the rest of the apostles, man, and disciples, we've forsaken all. We gave up everything to follow you. What's our reward? What are we going to get? And YAHAWAHSHI said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Right? He said nothing about a bunch of women, a bunch of wives, a bunch of children. But watch this next part, verse 29. And everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive an hundredfold, and shall inherit everlasting life. Now, I know what you're saying. See, brother, each one reach one. This is right here proof that you were wrong about your hypothesis about the elect and, and them not having families and wives and children and so forth. Look right here. It says that they shall receive a hundredfold, right? I hear you. I do. I really hear you. But hear me. Okay? Let's examine this a little further, and we got to make this make sense. Let's rationalize this and think about this logically. All right? And everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive an hundredfold, and shall inherit everlasting life. Okay, now let's figure this out. All right. I hear you. You say, okay, well, you're going to receive a hundredfold of wives and children and lands, is what you see. But okay, that's possible, right? Yeah, it is. But see, but then here's the problem. Here's the problem. How do you you receive a hundredfold fathers and mothers? How do you receive a hundredfold fathers and mothers and brethren and sisters? I think this is really trying to tell us that, because of the work he's talking about, the apostles and the disciples, right? That as a result of their apostleship and discipleship and the work that's been done, This is going to result in the kingdom. And in the kingdom, we're all going to be a big family. So we'll have a bunch of brethren and sisters and fathers and mothers, wives and children. In that sense, that's what I believe it's trying to communicate. That's what I believe YAHAWAHSHI, was trying to communicate. Maybe I'm wrong. I speak as a man, right? I'm not teaching here, studying with you guys, trying to be edified and try to understand the word as it pertains to this topic. All right. But many that are first shall be last. Who shall be first? And the last shall be first. Who are they? Right? But many that are first shall be last. Who could this be talking about? Could this be talking about the elect? That they'll be last because they're going to be the servants. They're going to be serving. And the last shall be first, the remnant? Maybe. Maybe. Could it be talking about those who were awakened first and were brought into the ministry first? Maybe they're the ones who are going to be last, and the ones who will come into the ministry in the 11th hour or later in the game, that they're going to be first. Again, it's a study. I'm putting this on the table for your consideration, for us to think about, right? I'm going to think about this after this video. I'm going to continue to study and continue to pray, and I'm opening it up for you to do the same. I'm trying to put something on your minds and on your spirits for consideration. What you do with it is up to you, but I pray that you pray on it yourselves and that you receive clarity as I expect to receive clarity. Everything that I pray for, I expect to receive it. You should do the same. All right. All right. So let's continue. Let's go to Mark chapter 9, verse 33. Mark 9 and 33. And he came to Capernaum, YAHAWAHSHI, and being in the house, he asked them, what was it that ye disputed among yourselves by the way? Speaking to his apostles and disciples. But they held their peace, for by the way they had disputed among themselves who should be the greatest. They held their peace because they had a feeling it was a bad idea to even bring up this conversation, right? That this was a conversation, that this kind of talk was stupid. They knew enough about YAHAWAHSHI that they knew that this was not going to be a pleasant conversation. They knew that he was going to be disappointed in them for even having this conversation, for letting this come out of their mouths. That's why they didn't want to speak. They held their peace. And he sat down and called the 12 and saith unto them, if any man desire to be first, the same shall be last of all and servant of all. You hear that? If any man desire to be first, you desire to be a chief among your people, to be one of the elect, the same shall be last of all and servant of all. Can you dig that? I desire to be one of the elect and believe that I am indeed. So my understanding is that my job, my assignment, my calling is to be a servant of all of my nation. That I'm to be last, one of the last, put myself last, to humble myself, to stoop down low, so that my brothers can be lifted up on my back. That's what I believe the job is. That's what I believe the assignment is. And I accept that. But joyfully, I accept it and I serve with joy. With joy. Not reluctantly, with glee, happiness, right? And he took a child and set him in the midst of them And when he had taken him in his arms, he said unto them, whosoever shall receive one of such children in my name, receiveth me. He didn't take one of his disciples. He didn't take Peter or John, who he loved. He didn't take any of these guys and set them in the midst of everybody. No, he took a child, the child in the midst of them. He said, whosoever shall receive one of such children in my name receiveth me. And whosoever shall receive me receiveth not me, but him that sent me. What is the point? Stop trying to be exalted, because you ain't gotta be one of the chief men in order to be a bridge or a gateway unto YAHAWAHSHI, or to be viewed as important to him, or special to him, or significant to him. Just do what he says. Be a man after his heart, or a woman after his heart. Be obedient. Each one reach one. You don't need a great big platform. You don't need a bunch of followers and viewers and so forth, and subscribers. All you need is the ability to reach one person. If you can get one person to receive YAHAWAHSHI through you, you've done a great work. You've done a great work. And that work that you did was important. It's not to be diminished or devalued because, hey, that was just one person. YAHAWAHSHI doesn't see it like that. Every one of his sheep matters to him. He told you how much he rejoices over one sheep being brought back into the fold. Each one reach one. That's the assignment. And it is not glorified. It's not a glorified position. It's not a glory position. You're not supposed to be exalted. Let no one exalt you above measure. Keep yourself humble. Remember the assignment, right? Mark chapter 10, verse 28. Then Peter began to say unto him, lo, we have left all and have followed thee. I know this sounds familiar. Y'all know me, what I like to do. I like to get it here and get it there. And YAHAWAHSHI answered and said, verily I say unto you, there is no man that hath left, let's get it again. There is no man that hath left house or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my sake and the gospel's. But he shall receive 100-fold now in this time, in this time, in this time. Doesn't say in the kingdom he's going to receive, or later on, he's going to receive, it says in this time. But going back to the previous verse, 29, there is no man that hath left house or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my sake and the gospel's. Is he saying that nobody has left any of this or forsaken any of this for his sake or the gospel's? Is he saying you haven't done this for me? Is that what he's saying? Again, I'm not saying that's what he's saying. I'm saying it's possible that that's what he's saying. So I'm mentioning it for your consideration. But verse 30, but he shall receive 100-fold now, in this time. So how did those people, those men then in that time receive 100-fold of brethren and sisters and fathers and mothers and children, wives and land and so forth? Maybe it's because my hypothesis about it being a reference to when you bring people into the truth, into the gospel, bring them into the truth of the gospel, out of the dark into the light, that you gain more family. Like when YAHAWAHSHI told told them when his mother and his brothers and sisters was waiting for him while he was speaking, and he was like, here's my mother and my brothers and sisters and so forth, roughly paraphrasing. Was he calling his apostles and his disciples, his followers, his mother and so forth? See, we got to open up our thinking. We got to learn to think with the mind of YAHAWAHSHI, not with our own thoughts. We think like men. Try to put yourselves in his position and think like he might have been thinking. You know enough about him via the scriptures to get a good idea of his personality and the way that he thought. So you should get a better idea of what he could mean by the things that he say. Right? And then again, verse 31, he reiterates, but many that are first shall be last, and the last first. Right? Okay. Staying in chapter 10, let's get verse 42. But YAHAWAHSHI called them to him and saith unto them, ye know that they which are accounted to rule over the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and their great ones exercise authority upon them. Listen, but so shall it not be among you. Get it again? Yeah, let's get it again. Ye know that they which are accounted to rule over the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and their great ones exercise great authority upon them. That's a great authority. And their great ones exercise authority upon them. But so shall it not be among you. What is he saying exactly? We're not supposed to lord over one another. And the great ones among us, who will be the elect, are not supposed to exercise authority upon our brethren. It's not supposed to be so among us. That's his commandment. Man, but whosoever will be great among you, the elect, shall be your minister. Servant. The elect are supposed to serve. We're supposed to be ministers to the people, not lords over the people, not exalted above the people. Verse 44, and whosoever of you will be the chiefest shall be servant of all. Whoever's the chiefest of you, of who? Of all the apostles and disciples, shall be the servant of all. For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister. See, he didn't come to be served. He came to serve and to give his life a ransom for many. He gave us the example. He was our example. No servant is greater than his Lord. John chapter 13, verse 1. Now, before the feast of the Passover, when YAHAWAHSHI knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world unto the Father, having loved his own, which were in the world, he loved them unto the end. And supper being ended, the devil now put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him. YAHAWAHSHI, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he was come of the Most High, and went to the Most High, he riseth from supper, and laid aside his garments, and took a towel, and girded himself. After that, he poureth water into a basin, and began to wash the disciples' feet, and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded. Then cometh he to Simon Peter, and Peter saith unto him, Lord, dost thou wash my feet? YAHAWAHSHI answered and said unto him, what I do thou knowest not, but thou shalt know hereafter. See, you shall know hereafter. You don't know what I'm doing now, but after I'm done, you're going to understand what this is about, right? He's setting an example, and he's making a point. He's demonstrating to them what they are called to do, how they are supposed to live. the assignment for his disciples. Let's continue. Verse 8. Peter saith unto him, thou shalt never wash my feet. YAHAWAHSHI answered him, if I wash thee not, thou hast no part with me. Simon Peter saith unto him, Lord, not my feet only. That's the case. Don't just wash my feet then. Also my hands and my head. I want parts with you. If that's the case, wash me thoroughly, please. YAHAWAHSHI saith to him, he that is washed needeth not save to wash his feet, but is clean every whit. And ye are clean, but not all. For he knew who should betray him. Therefore said he, ye are not all clean. So after he had washed their feet and had taken his garments and was set down again, he said unto them, know ye what I have done to you? See, what he did wasn't just for nothing. It was a demonstration. He was setting the example. He was showing them something. Now he's going to explain to them what it was about. Ye call me master and Lord, and ye say, well, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and master, have washed your feet, ye also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that ye should do as I have done to you. Stop. Let it marinate. Is it sinking in? Are you getting it? Having a light bulb moment? Shine then. Come out of the darkness. He's provided an example of them of serving one another, of him being the greatest and the chiefest among them, had to stoop down and serve the rest of them. His job, his responsibility was to cleanse them. The elect, our job is to cleanse our people, and not just our people, but the other nations as well, because all nations are supposed to come to our power through us. We are supposed to be the walking examples of YAHAWAHSHI in the earth. He gave us this example so that we can walk like him, be an example of him. We are the doorway to him, his body. Man, do you understand the job, the responsibility that is? Do you understand the implications of being YAHAWAHSHI's body, his representative on the earth? Do you not get it? You should by now, but continuing on. Verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord, neither is he that is sent greater than he that sent him. We have been sent by YAHAWAHSHI. We are not greater than him. We are his servants. We are not greater than him, our Lord. So if he stooped down, humbled himself, and washed the feet of his servants, what are we supposed to do? As he did. We're not supposed to lord over one another. Anyone trying to lord over you is not the servant or the disciple or the apostle of YAHAWAHSHI. Bottom line, there's no other way to get around it. Bottom line, they are not of him. They're not. You know them by their fruit, right? And look at what he says in verse 17. If ye know these things, happy are ye if ye do them. See, if you know them, it's one thing to know them, it's another to do them. I know these things. And when he says, happy are ye if you do them, that's not a lie, fam, because I'm happy to do it. I'm a happy man in life. My life is great. I live according to the Most High. I live according to YAHAWAHSHI. I walk in his example, fam, and he's not lying. Happy are you if you do them. I have a joy, man. I joyfully serve. I love to do it. I love to do it. And there's a lot of people that run away from my light, man, because they're evil, they're wicked, they're in the dark. The evil always run from the light, fam. They can't stand in your light. It makes them uncomfortable. It hurts. Being in your presence, and you are the light. You are of YAHAWAHSHI. He moves with you. His spirit is with you. Those who are in the darkness, they hate being in your company. They will hate you the same way the 2/3 hated YAHAWAHSHI. They will hate you. They're going to be annoyed and vexed by your light, fam, by your happiness, by your joy. And they would seek to rob you of it if they could, but don't let them. Verse 18, I speak not of you all. I know whom I have chosen, but that the scripture may be fulfilled. He that eateth bread with me hath lifted up his heel against me. And that's true right now. There are many calling themselves his apostles and his disciples, his followers, eating bread with the rest of us, eating bread with him, so to speak. But they have lifted up their heels against him. They show you with their actions. You know them by their fruit. Pay attention. Verse 19, now I tell you before it come, that when it is come to pass, ye may believe that I am he. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that receiveth whomsoever I send receiveth me, and he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me. And there are plenty of people out here that are shunning the men that have actually been sent by YAHAWAHSHI because they have some other man's person lifted up in admiration, exalting men. And because they're exalting these men, they do whatever these men tell them to do, right? They listen to them as if they are YAHAWAHSHI. Respect them and fear them as if they are YAHAWAHSHI. And so they let these men convince them that the good are evil and the evil are good. And they'll have to pay that price for that. Let's get down. Let's get verse 34. A new commandment I give unto you. Listen up. This is YAHAWAHSHI, red letter, right? He's given a new commandment unto his disciples and his apostles, right? That ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. He didn't just say love one another. He said love one another as I have loved you. I showed you the example. I loved you guys unconditionally. I didn't throw anybody away because you said things that were foolish, because you said things that I didn't agree with, right? He didn't do that. He loved them regardless of their faults. He lifted them up. Plenty of times he had to call them ye of little faith. He even had to rebuke Peter, called him Satan. Get thee behind me, Satan. Right? Speaking to Satan in him, rebuking him. Didn't throw him away. Plenty of times they suffered from a lack of faith. What did he do? He taught them, edified them, stayed with them, and he built up their faith over time until they were ready. That's what he did. He gave us the example. He served them. He loved them unconditionally. He loved them despite their faults. He didn't expect them to be perfect. He understood they were works in progress. He loved them throughout their journey. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if you have love one to another. He told you how people are going to recognize his disciples. This is going to be the thing that they see that's going to make them say, yep, that's a disciple of YAHAWAHSHI. Yep. By this shall all men know. By this shall all men know. Not by some man calling himself King David or calling himself, you know what I'm saying, somebody else who's noteworthy. Not by some man calling himself an apostle or chief or some other title, right? No, by this, by the love that we're supposed to exhibit one to another, the Church of Philadelphia, the church of brotherly love. We're supposed to be the examples of YAHAWAHSHI's love to the rest of the world. The way he was our example, we are supposed to be the example to the world. We're supposed to be like him. And it comes with the cost. Discipleship is costly, fam. You still want to be of the elect? I do. With that, let us give all praise, all honor, and all of the glory unto the Most High Yahawah, Bahashem Hamashiach, YAHAWAHSHI, YAHAWAH Kadash. I pray that you guys were edified, fam, that you got what you needed out of this. This was one of those that was absolutely necessary, right? I know there are many that needed to hear this, but will they receive it? That's another question. All of those who are his disciples, indeed, they will get this. Those who are not, they will fight this. They will fight this. It's a lot of people that owe me an apology. It's a lot of people who owe me the courtesy of stepping to me like a man, humbling himself, saying, I was wrong. I was wrong. I apologize. Can you forgive me, brother? I dealt with you wickedly. I didn't walk in the way of YAHAWAHSHI. I have not lived up to what I claim to be. I've been proven to be a liar, that I am not one of his disciples, because I have not exhibited the fruit of the Spirit. I have not exhibited any of the characteristics and signs of the elect men. But you have. Anyway, Barakatah Yahawah Bahashem Hamashiach Yahushai. Much love to my brethren. Shalom, fam.